Shooting open gate on the iPhone 17 Pro has really opened it up, no pun intended, to doing more pro work. Beyond just the higher quality codec and the ability to work with RAW and do color grading, I really like the idea with OpenGate of shooting 4x3. That way you can reframe and post and get a 9x16 for Instagram or TikTok, but additionally, of course, 16x9 for traditional delivery. But one other benefit to shooting OpenGate, Anamorphic. Now, when I covered the Perla app shooting OpenGate on my iPhone 16 Pro, I did show some anamorphic in that video, and that was shooting 1.33 times, and it looked pretty good. But now shooting OpenGate RAW on the 17 Pro, it looks quite a bit better. And now you pair that with the new 3-in-1 anamorphic from Freewell, and you can shoot some pretty cool footage. This is the 1.33 times Cine anamorphic from Freewell. And it comes with a very nice zippered case. And it comes with a front and rear lens cap, which is nice, and it's magnetic. And then what makes this kit really unique is they call it a 3-in-1 lens because it comes with different lens flare looks. You've got a neutral, a gold, and a blue. And all you do is push a button and it releases, and then you can put whichever color you want back into the lens. And so essentially it's like getting 3 different anamorphic lenses. And one of the first things you need to do is align the lens once you put it on your phone. And I do like that Freewell switched to the 17mm mount a while ago. And so it's a much more universal mount, and it will work with a variety of different cases and cages. So they include a little kit that has a Allen key and some other little screws for the lens, and you'll need this because the first thing you need to do is align the lens. And they show you how to do it on the actual lens cap. There's a little sticker. And so when I say align it, I mean because it spins otherwise. Personally, I think they should just send this locked so you don't have to do this alignment because you don't want your image to be warped looking, but it's pretty easy to do. So I'm using the Blackmagic camera app. And when you spin the lens, you can see how the screen warps. And so you want it to be even. Now, one way to do it would be to show the flare. So I'm just gonna go to the grid and line it up with the line on the grid. And so it just takes a little bit of tweaking. And then from there, you take the Allen key and tighten the little screw next to this gold knob there. And once you lock it, it's locked. You don't have to do this adjustment again. And they've also got a 1.55 that works just like the 1.33, it's just a wider image. I want to demo the flare, the 1.33 and the 1.55, and I'm going to put it right here in place of this camera, and I'm going to use my little small rig monitor to be able to tell what I'm shooting on the iPhone. Now here's the 1.33 in ProRes RAW. I think these flares look very natural. A lot of smartphone anamorphic lenses, the flares look unnatural. They look very digital. Here, these have a very organic feel. Reminds me a lot of the OG anamorphic lens from Moondog Labs, which unfortunately, I don't think that company's in business anymore. And this is the blue flare on the 1.33. Now here is the same shot, but shooting ProRes. And you'll notice with ProRes, you do push in on the image a little bit. You don't get as wide of a shot. Now, of course, ProRes RAW OpenGate is 4K, and regular ProRes OpenGate is like 2.5K. And so it is lower resolution, and you get a little bit of a tighter shot. But the flares look the same. All right, now here is the 1.55 anamorphic. Same deal, this is the ProRes RAW. Flares look good. This is the gold flare. Very organic look. And now here is the ProRes. And again, same thing, it pushes in on the image a little bit. It's a 2.5K versus a 4K OpenGate. But the flares look good, and overall the image looks good too. Now to show some more test footage, here is the 4K ProRes RAW on the 1.55. And here's the same shot shooting regular ProRes. Again, you see how it pushes in on the image a little bit. And again, it is 2.5K versus 4K. And now here's the 1.33 ProRes RAW. And then here is the 1.33 shooting ProRes. Same deal. It pushes in a little bit. Less resolution and a little bit tighter shot. One benefit of shooting ProRes versus RAW is that you can punch in on the 48mm. And when you punch in on the 48, the virtual, you get a tighter shot, of course, and it also takes out most of the distortion, if not all of it. And it eliminates any kind of edge softness or edge distortion that you can get with the wider look. Now I've been shooting with the Anamorphic, the 1.33, and I went to the lake. But unfortunately, I haven't been able to shoot with the 1.55 out there as we've had a lot of weather where I am right now. So here's just some random test footage I shot, some standard 24 frames per second and some 60 frames per second, slowed down to 24 frames per second. And I should note, this was all shot ProRes, so it's 2.5K, not 4K. Now, one thing I really do like, and what I did when I was shooting some of the test footage, is you can use an ND filter. Because without shooting with an ND filter, you get too fast of shutter, and so you want ideal motion blur, and you get that by using an ND filter. And so the outside of the ring, the filter ring, is a 58mm, and so this is a 67mm filter, and so I had to adapt it, and so I put a 58 to 67mm step-up ring, and so then it screws directly onto the lens itself. And now you can shoot in bright conditions and have your footage look very cinematic. Now overall, the footage does look pretty good. I like it. But if you look closely at it, especially the edges in the corner, well, it has character. It's not tack sharp, which is totally fine. A lot of anamorphics exhibit that kind of stuff. It has a little bit of smearing and a little bit of softness on the corners, maybe some chromatic aberration too. The middle looks good. Again, that is kind of a look that a lot of anamorphics exhibit. Even high-end professional anamorphics can go that way, especially vintage ones. And that's kind of what I would put this category in. It gives it kind of a vintage look. I will go out and shoot some more beauty footage and maybe even do a short film. So if you're not subscribed, definitely do that to check that out in the future. But right now, the test footage I shot, I think gives you a pretty good idea what you're going to get here. And so combining the Freewell Anamorphic 1.33 and 1.55 with OpenGate, it's pretty darn cool. And I really think if you want to shoot anything narrative, a short film, or do something that has, again, that vintage look, these are a great option to consider.